Let's go, Ding. It is Fight Week Power Slap number 10 coming up on Friday. It is going to be a jam-packed show of content coming for you the entire week. This show here, my man, with a ton of announcements. Right off the top, we've got the proofs for the brand new Leaf trading cards. There's 3 of them that are going to be given away this Friday. However, we're going to bring you the proofs later on in the show, so you get to see what they look like. We've got a Dana White card. We've got a Paige Van Zandt card. And we've got an Anthony Blackburn card to reveal to all of you guys here today. This show starts off the content schedule that we are bringing you guys for the entire week. It is Tuesday, tomorrow, Wednesday, travel day for the team. We're all getting into Las Vegas. And then on Thursday, we're coming at you 9 a.m. for the live weigh-in show that we are streaming on YouTube and Facebook. Following in the evening, we've got our massive 3-hour live show from Stadium Swim. Slap News will be there. Over 25 guests have confirmed are going to be joining our podcast live from 4 until 7 p.m. Pacific. That is 7 until 10 in the East for you guys. This is the largest live show that we've ever done. We are incredibly excited to do so. We're going to have a ton of strikers coming in. We're going to have the odds maker from Circa Sports join us. We're going to have CJ from Leaf Trading Cards joining us. He's going to be giving away those promo packs. So your first ever opportunity to get Leaf Trading Cards will be at our live event, Stadium Swim. Like I said, Thursday, 4 p.m. If you're able to make it and you are in Las Vegas, come on down and see the live show. It is definitely going to be a spectacle to behold. We are also going to have the Power Cube there as well, so you could test your might and test your skill and see how you stack up against the Power Slap strikers, and as it records your score. That is what's happening Thursday. And then Friday, as you know, we're going to come at you with post-fight interviews immediately following every single match, as well as the post-fight press conference from Dana White and the 4 headlining athletes from Power Slap number 10. And I didn't even start it, but the title of this show is the odds in the betting, which just came out, and Circa Sports is providing us with those betting lines. So we're incredibly exciting. Ding, I can't stop talking, my man. That's how excited I am. How about you?
It's going to be an incredible week, man. Unexplored territory for us, doing some things we've never done before. I'm hearing it's colder in Vegas than usual, not 114 degrees. So that'll be interesting out there on the pool side at Stadium Swim. But I couldn't be more excited, man. We really are thankful to the team over at Circa, Richard Wilk, Derek Stevens, of course, for allowing us the space and for also helping us get this beautiful, incredible, monumental event taken care of. A few, surprise guests that we'll have. There's people that will show up that we don't even know about yet. I'm sure it's a very, very jam-packed week. Obviously, UFC's in town, so who knows who's walking around the hotel. I'll be honest with you, Stadium Swim will be the place to be on Thursday night. I know the MMA awards is going on. I'm sure a lot of folks will be over there, and I get it. But if you can't make it out to Stadium Swim, please do come support your favorite strikers, network, talk to people, watch the show, enjoy yourself. And if you can't make it or you're not in town, please just tune in. Tell your friends to tell their friends. It's going to be an exciting week.
Absolutely. But we're going to get into it. We're going to get to our first guest right off the bat. We've got Isaiah Quinones versus Brandon Bordeaux. We haven't spoke to Brandon yet. He's taken this fight on short notice. He's been an incredibly busy guy, getting all of his ducks in a row, making sure that he's on weight, training and preparing for this moment and this opportunity, the biggest opportunity in his life, probably outside of the birth of his kids, but athletically and performance-wise, he is ready to go. We're going to bring him onto the show. We're going to see how he's doing. We know he's there in Las Vegas. My man, what is happening?
What's up? What's up, guys? How are you?
Really good. How about yourself?
Great. Hey, are you guys having the show? I think you guys are the ones that got the hot tubs all shut down for the next couple of days. we were on our way back from the Apex earlier. A couple of the guys were like, what the hell, man? I just heard that all the hot tubs and stuff are shut down.
Well, I wish we were that. I wish we were that Joe Hollywood, but I don't think.
Yeah, well, they were out there this morning setting stuff up and doing stuff. So obviously they've got a bunch of different things going on. But no, congratulations to you guys though. That's cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's going to be exciting. One of the biggest things that we've done. Obviously you're going to be there as well.
Yep.
Going to be an exciting time all around. But talk to us. We don't fly into Vegas till tomorrow. Tell us, what is that energy like around Circa? You were at the Apex today, the signing. What's all the vibes and the feels like?
Yeah, everything feels great. It's got, big fight feels, and I think pretty much everybody flew in or got in today. I got in last night, and having everybody at the Apex, doing all our media stuff and poster signings and everything, you can just tell that, there's a lot of big fights that are about to happen, and this is going to be a great card.
Yeah. I mean, I seen that you were able to, meet up with Isaiah and see him. What kind of energy and vibe you feeling from him?
Isaiah's he's always a really friendly person. I joke around a little bit because I kind of have a side to me. I'm a little more of an asshole sometimes. I'm not quite as outgoing as Isaiah. So Isaiah, he's a really good guy. He's cool all the time. I ran into him last night, and we walked up and down Fremont Street a little bit. Like I said, we've made it clear that him and I are friends. But when we go up on that stage, we're up there for business, and we're going to put on a hell of a show, and we'll go to the back and we'll be friends again when we're done.
Yeah. I mean, your boots are on the ground in Vegas. It's business time. Mentally, where are you at?
Oh, I'm ready to go. I stay dialed in all the time. I work my ass off for these opportunities, and they're here now. And, I'm gonna go out there and shock the world. Isaiah's been on a hell of a roll. He's had 3 big knockouts in a row, including knocking out the champion. And, I want to go out there and take everything that he has. He's got everything that I want, so I want to go out there and take what he has. And, I'm also coming into this. I'm relaxed. There isn't, to be honest with you, the pressure isn't on me. He's got everything to lose. I've got everything to gain. He's the champion right now. He's on a 3-fight knockout streak. He's got to knock me out. He's got to retain the title. He's got to outdo the last match that he did. All the pressure's on him. Everybody's doubting me coming into it. They don't think I can knock him out. They don't think I can do this. So all the pressure's on him. I go in there, knock him out, and shock the world. Told you so.
Yeah. I mean, this match was a late addition to the card. But however, I will have to give you roses and props because you called it that Isaiah was going to beat John well before Power Slap number 9. So I know you've had this in your mind that Isaiah was the one that you would have to beat to get that shot at the belt. Talk to me about that. I mean, because you have literally probably been for 3-4 plus months thinking about this moment that is going to come up on Friday night.
Yeah, so I kind of called it all the way through. After the Ryan match, I didn't know, Isaiah coming back in April, I didn't know exactly how that was going to go. After he got through Ryan like he did, and then he got Wes, I kind of figured, here he goes, he's kind of going to go on a run. And then when he took out Wes, I was making my case for a title shot, obviously, but I knew with Isaiah taking out the number 2 guy, that he was going to get in there, probably get that shot. And it just, what I had seen on film from studying John and then studying Isaiah, I just knew, and I pretty much called exactly what would happen, and it played out a lot like I thought it would. And you know what I mean? Props to Isaiah for going in there and executing and doing what he did, and creating those highlights, doing the things he did. But now I'm coming in, and he's turning around on short notice as well, and I plan on trying to make him the shortest reigning champion.
Mm-hmm. How do you prepare for a guy like Isaiah? I mean, you talked about it. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He's come down to this division. And I mean, it's, he's done what he's done. How do you prepare for a guy like that?
But you got to take a little bit of a different approach. And that's kind of where I'm coming in with this. I'm not going to give too much away right now, but you know what I mean? These last 3 guys that he's went against have all kind of had the same approach, and they've all been hitting him kind of high. And I think, you need to bring it down a little bit. And, if you want to rock him, affect him, you're not going to be able to hit Isaiah up in the top of his, thick skull and think that's going to rock him. So it's going to have to be pinpoint accuracy. You're going to have good shots. You're going to, he's probably not the type that you're going to one and done. So you're going to, collective damage, pull him into the middle rounds to the late rounds and finish him in there. And he said it himself. He's got to knock me out. Nobody wants to drag it out to 5 rounds, but he doesn't want to go to decision with me because he's got, the flinching problems, the this, the that. And if he gets into we get into the late rounds, and he feels like he's down, he might start swinging for the fences, and, more foul will start popping up. So, we'll see how this goes. Like I said, I think for either of us, to take either of us out, it's going to have to be a collective damage. Where, we both have proven chins. So I think it's going to have to be a collective damage to take either of us out.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you more of a fun question, then I'll throw it over to Ding to get back more to the technical side of it. But in Isaiah's pre-fight interview, he talked about you being the one that secured the Travis Scotts that he ended up winning the title over John Davis. Is there going to be some good exchanging of shoe vibes this time around? I know you came out with the what were they, the Baskin Robin ones before. You got something special in line for us this time around?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick. I did a poll the other night about switching to the Trump shoes or keeping my Chunky Dunkies, the Ben and Jerry Chunky Dunkies. And
Okay.
I don't know, man. Like, I want to go to the Trump shoes so bad, but I'm a superstitious person. So if I switch it up and something doesn't go my way, I'm gonna be pissed at myself for switching it up. So it'd be kind of stupid to switch it up going into the biggest fight. So yeah, I'm probably gonna stick with my normal shoes. But yeah, I'll have my normal fight shoes on though.
I don't know. I mean, going up to Trump to Many Men by 50 Cent, I'm just saying, would be legendary.
I agree. There's some moments I said either way. I was joking around. I was like, man, you know what I mean? If you knock somebody out in those shoes, you know what I mean? Or even get knocked out in those shoes, the way it could go viral. So,
100%.
but you know what I mean? I'm super, you know what I mean? Coming to the, you know what I mean? If this wasn't a title fight or something, it'd be a little bit different. But, you know what I mean? This magnitude of a match, you know, for myself, this is really what I've really been working for. I'm going to kind of stick to the things that I've been doing and kind of keep the same routines. I'm not trying to change up anything. You know, just trying to keep everything the same way that I've been every time I've been out here.
Yeah, my man, it's working.
Thank you.
Let me get the hard question out of the way, Brandon. Why you? Why, you know, there was a lot of talk about you, Azael. Why do you think that the promotion went with you?
Well, I think at the end of the day, you just got to look at, and I'm not trying to take shots at Azael, but he's had 2 shots at the title. To get a 3rd shot at the title, you know, you pretty much have to clean the division out before the champion for you to even be able to get that 3rd shot. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting, obviously Isaiah just beat John. Azael's still sitting there. He's had 2 shots already. And you have an undefeated contender in myself sitting right there. So, you know, to me, it was a no-brainer. And I'm not taking shots at Azael or anything. To me, it was a no-brainer. And, you know, I knew in my head that it was going to happen. I didn't figure it was going to happen this fast. I kind of figured it was either going to be January or March. But when these opportunities come up, and this is what I've preached, and I've preached on your guys' show many times, is you stay ready and take every opportunity that they're willing to offer. And now look at that. I mean, I said that to you guys, and literally 2 weeks later, they call me for a title fight. Stay ready and say yes to every opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, you've definitely done that, man. I mean, short notice, like you said. I think it's interesting you called out that all the pressure's on him, and I think we've seen it in the past, and most people agree. You know, a man with nothing is a dangerous man, and you know, I don't know if you've seen the odds for your fight yet, but you are a very, very small favorite. Isaiah came
favorite or underdog?
I'm sorry, very, very small underdog. Excuse me. Isaiah came in at -130. You came in at +110. You know, I anticipate based on people betting that those odds will change. I don't know which way it will, you know, how far it will go, but I would venture to guess the reigning champion will probably extend his favorite just a little bit at the bare minimum. But what was the energy like? I mean, we have a lot of debutantes. There's a few people that we haven't even talked about just yet that we haven't released, but you were there with there's a lot of ladies actually on the card. Quite a few card matches, more than we expected. We know we lost one. Kini Manu was on the show last week. Unfortunately, he will not be competing. But there's some ladies on the card. I believe there's 2 undercard female matches. There's also Brian Ellis, of course, facing Aaron Turner. And then there's also Kalani Vakamelalo returning to face Lorenzo Florian. What was the energy? I saw everybody was signing posters, even, you know, UFC veteran Emily Whitmire. We saw, you know, Mikael Brown, excuse me. There's a lot of people. So you got to meet these people. What was the energy like from them? You know, how excited are they all to kind of be engaging in this fight week?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's really excited. You can tell that, you know, there's big fight feels and that this is going to be a big card. And it's really good to see all these women coming in and seeing them building those divisions up as well. You know what I mean? Because it's just that much more attention and that much more eyes being brought in and you know, just that much more going on. So it's cool to see things just building up and getting bigger and seeing more and more women willing to jump in there and do this. So seeing all the, you know, a bunch of new faces around and everything, they just, you know, it's cool because I came into this just over a year ago, you know, and when I came in, it was the OGs were the only ones around. And then our group come in, and now you got season 3 guys that are in, and now, you know, now you're seeing more new people come in. So it's really good to see all these new faces coming in and seeing things just get bigger and bigger and just continuing being part of this, helping everything grow.
Yeah, a guy that you know very well, actually, Brandon Rhodes kind of gave you a shout out earlier on. Tipped the hat to you, saying obviously congratulations and hats off to you for taking the match on short notice. But that he's on his revenge tour, that he'll be back. Do you think you see a guy like Brandon Rhodes again down the road?
Yeah, we'll see. I've talked to Brandon myself. He's had a couple following problems, but if he's back working his ass off and working on his technique, and he gets his technique down and gets back in, he'll be back down this division. I think he gets his technique down. I think he's going to be just fine. I think he's going to be able to put some of these guys away. I mean, he did have like the third highest power out of everybody in the house. So I mean, he's got good power there. He's just got to get the fouls under control, land clean, and he'll be just fine.
And
That's another thing too. That's another thing too. How I think about this. I know Isaiah's got power. Isaiah's been great, but Brandon Rhodes coming off the show has had the third highest power. I think we've seen that. Eddie's obviously tough as hell. I tried to tell everybody this. Everybody seemed to think just because Eddie had to go against me twice that he was. I don't know, but you know what I mean. That match he had with Azael. He went back and forth with the number one guys. Eddie is tough. He's a very tough. He's a hard dude to put away. You've seen that in the Azael match too. So,
yeah, I mean, what are you excited about? I guess given this fight, I'm assuming you're cutting some weight. That's obviously not the fun part, but there's a ton of stuff going on in Vegas. Obviously, the UFC is also in town. What are you looking forward to the most? Obviously, we're doing something that we've never done before. I think that, like you said, I mean, you were in Vegas for 8. That's International Fight Week. I think most things probably don't trump that week. That's just such a massive capstone for combat sports. But all things considered, I mean, being there in Vegas, in the beginning of December on a colder season for Nevada, what are you looking forward to the most this week?
I'm looking forward to the event. First off, you know what I mean. It'd be I got my parents out here with me right now. My brother's flying in, and his buddy will be flying in tomorrow. So having those guys out here with me, and my brother's been out here a few times. He's been out here with me every time. But this is my parents' first time out here, so being able to show them around, being able to see Vegas, being able to be part of this, to make it damn special Friday night. To win that world title with my family in the building, and my wife and kids, and everybody back home watching it. It'd just be a great feeling, a great moment to share with everybody.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Something about this week feels real different. I mean, we're not even in town, but we're seeing everything that's happening. Obviously, seeing more athletes come in the sport. I mean, well, listen, when you've got guys like Kalani and Lorenzo on the undercard, being pre-recorded, guys who have both been up there before. I know Lorenzo has had an issue with fouls in the past, and that was his, his only match was a loss, but. I mean, he's obviously a powerful guy, right? He cleaned his clock. Kalani again has fought for a championship. He's generally a clean fighter. He also had his first fight was an incredible knockout. So I mean, I think it speaks to the caliber of talent that you have. And then again, and we didn't even talk about this yet, but we announced earlier that, or I think maybe yesterday we announced it, that there's actually 2 women debuting on the broadcast. And so just. I think that speaks to the depth of this thing. And of course, females are a welcomed asset and element to this thing. So to have 3 female fights in the card and none of them involve people that we know is incredible, right? And we'll talk about this later on in the show more. But that's at 115 pounds, 135 pounds, and 170 pounds is what these ladies are fighting at. I mean, it's pretty big stuff, man. So I can tell that you're happy to be a part of it all.
Yeah, to see the growth, you know what I mean? I mean, when he came into the first couple seasons, there was no women, right? I mean, well, Sheena had been in there. Sheena had been there, right? But she was one of the only ones. So now to look back and see how many women are in there now, and we just keep getting more and more each event. Like I said, it's great. It's great to see the things growing, and I'm extremely happy to be part of helping build all this and helping everything get big like it is. And you know what I mean? It'd be the cherry on top for me to win that world title and sit here and defend it.
Yeah, man. Listen, we can guarantee you one thing: we'll be there. We'll be there. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday at our live show. We'll also see you that morning on the weigh-ins, and then we'll be there event night. So, best of luck to you. Look forward to seeing you in Vegas. Checking out your footwear. We may snap a pic or two and put, we got the chunky dunks or whatever you decide to put on your
sir.
spotted. So we'll be looking.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you.
We'll
Take
see
care,
you.
dude.
We'll see you.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
All right, Ding. Brendan Bordeaux, great to catch up with him. Glad we were able to get him on the live show. Incredibly busy guy ever since the match has been announced. He's taken on Isaiah Quiones. I know you touched on it briefly, but he's sitting there right now at a plus 110 on the betting line. The champion minus 130. Something that's just kind of interesting as well is you also have Emmanuel Muniz as being the challenger going against Anthony Blackburn. However, he is favored in this one 130 to Anthony Blackburn's plus 110. The odds makers have flip-flopped identical odds on those two particular title matches. I mean, right off the bat, interesting to see how that line opened. I know Aaron is going to be joining us, the odds maker from Circa Sports. Bro, I'll definitely have to ask him about how he came to this conclusion to open the lines the way that they did in this particular match. So we'll definitely get some insight coming this Thursday as part of the live show taking place at Stadium Swim. It's open. If anybody wants to come, check it out. 25 plus strikers in attendance. As we said, come in network. We are going to have the Power Cube there as well. You're going to be able to hit it if you'd like to see how you stack up against other strikers. But Ding, let's get into it before we get to the Power Slap cards. I know I see Cooper Housey in there. I know Anthony Blackburn wants to see those cards as well. We teased it in our story a little bit. Did anybody in the comments right now, who did we tease? Whose promo card is going to be released? Did you guys check it out in our story over on Instagram? Anybody going to pop it up below who it was?
Dude, if you can't get that, I don't know what to tell you. Honestly.
How about this? If someone does it right now, we'll preview it. How about that? We allowed to do that, Ding?
Look.
We allowed to?
Look at the comments, man. John Jones. There's no way that you can not get this, man. There's just no way.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. All right. Boom. There we go. Dana White, the brand new leaf metal, all the shiny, beautiful rainbow through it. Dana White first ever Power Slap card. This is a promo card. From what I've heard, less than 300 of these will be given away this week. They'll be given away at our live show the Thursday night, and the remaining will be given away at Power Slap number 10. Man, what do you think of this design?
I think they nailed it, man. I like the the spikes in the background kind of reminds me of like a Game of Thrones, right? The Iron Throne. I like it. I think they did a good job. And this is Dana, right? The black T-shirt, the jeans, nice and casual. And this is Dana in his most recent form. This isn't the thing, Dana. So it's awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, this is even just a scan of the card in real life with the shininess of it is going to pop even more. So we're incredibly excited about that. Stay tuned in the show. We've got Anthony Blackburn and Paige Van Zandt cards we're going to reveal in a little bit later. But Ding, you kind of touched on it with Brendan Bordeaux. We do have a couple fights and things that we may not know that are taking place on the undercard. So let's talk about it right now. I know we put this up earlier on our social, but if the followers of Slap News didn't see it originally because they were working out, doing all the fun stuff in their daily life, let's get into it. What do we know about Aaron Turner, if anything?
Well, I have to give Dorian Perez a shout out because it was hilarious what he said. He said that Brian Ellis is competing against an unlockable character, which is golden. That's a beautiful call out. Unfortunately, we don't know much about Aaron Turner. The guys who were there today, I'm sure probably met him, but it doesn't look like Aaron Turner's on social media. We searched everywhere for him. It does say that he is an MMA fighter in some way, but we just can't identify exactly what he looks like. I know that he is 6'7". I can tell you that. He's a big boy. He's a heavyweight. So Brian Ellis will actually not be the taller man in this one, which is another thing that we were.
Oh, do I still have you, Ding?
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. You just cut out there briefly. But Brian Ellis, we haven't seen him in a little bit. He's coming back here in the heavyweight division. Great to see him come back. I think last event, correct me if I'm wrong, that we seen him was the Durango event, I believe, is where we seen where he ended up with a DQ victory. Correct. The DQ victory. So great to see him back in the fold. We don't know a whole lot about Aaron Turner, but as you said, 6'7", a pretty imposing heavyweight to say the least. So pretty excited to see what he can bring to this mix and this mold. And as we know, Dana with the West Minna fight going up against Awa went live on his IG. So if you guys aren't doing so, you might want to have the notifications on for Dana's IG, because I'm sure, and I even asked him in the post-fight press conference, will we see more of this? And he said, depends how he feels, but I think there's a big appetite that he wants to do much more of this continually. You also talked about one of the women's matches. Let's get into it, Ding. The women's match between Emily Whitmere and how do you say the next one?
I mean, I'm saying like Mikael Brown. I might be wrong on that. I apologize if I am.
Where are you getting Brown from?
That's her actual last name. Michelle's her middle name.
Oh, gotcha.
She likes to be called Mikael Michelle.
Gotcha. Awesome. So yeah, we are going to see this match taking place coming up in the bantamweight division, the women's category of Power Slap. We didn't really talk about it, but we actually have a new contributor that is going to be there that we are debuting. We've dropped it in our social, but Brittany Diamond is going to be joining as a contributor to Slap News on a weekly basis on this very show on Smack Talk. She's going to be getting into it, having a different perspective, a female perspective. As you guys may or may not know, she has a phenomenal background in strongman. She's competing in women's physique in the bodybuilding realm as well, actually coming up in less than 2 weeks. So she's going to be there. However, as part of our live event, we're going to be introducing her to everybody. Come and check it out. As you may or may not know, she was working and planning to actually get into Power Slap. Things didn't work that way, but she has a vested interest. She's been following for a very long time and is a credible resource for us. And we're incredibly happy to bring her on board. She's done, a plethora of different media things, and we're excited to the different angle that she will bring to our team through, and you guys will get to know her as things evolve. So we're incredibly excited to introduce Brittany Diamond to the Slap News team going forward.
Yeah, somebody's got to keep you in check, man, honestly.
I got to keep me in check or you in check?
That's why I keep you in check. I'm out of check. I belong out of check.
You belong out of check?
Yeah,
all right, man. All right. But let's keep rolling, man. Let's go. We're going to get into Circus Sports is bringing us the lines for Power Slap number 10. They are officially out. Right off the bat, we've got the title match. Damien DeBell, a -195 going up against Dorian Perez, a +170. Ding, did they get this one right? We know that Damien DeBell has been absolutely lights out in everything that he's done in Power Slap.
I mean, I think he should be a favorite. This is a tough one to answer because I believe he should be a favorite. How big? I mean, he's been as dominant as somebody can be. My concern is, how do you have Dakota McGregor as a bigger favorite than Damien DeBell? That's where my problem lies with where Damien's at. If Dakota wasn't such a big favorite, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But because of where Dakota and Anthony DeFrank came in, I'm severely confused how they got Damien DeBell at 1.9. But I mean, Vegas knows all, man. I've learned that. We've learned that over time. Vegas knows something we don't, man. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the way that this card is set up and the way the graphic is right here, this is going to be the main card. So to start off the main card, we are going to have Dakota McGregor going up against Anthony DeFrank. As you are seeing in this particular graphic, Dakota McGregor is the biggest favorite of these 4 particular matches. What we've seen on the show, we obviously know that Dakota McGregor was continuing to push on. Anthony DeFrank having that loss obviously kind of plays into this. But we do know a guy that is hungry, a guy that has sat there and watched, Power Slap number 9 and hoping for that opportunity. If you haven't seen his pre-fight interview that we did, Anthony DeFrank is extremely motivated. He's extremely focused and he is hungry. We know that both of these athletes are friends outside of the sport, but we know it's going to be all business. We know Dakota McGregor, fellow Canadian coming from PEI, is going to be ready. He's gone through one hell of a journey to get here as well after everything that took place at Power Slap number 9 when he was driving to the airport to go fight over it in Abu Dhabi to find out that his match was called off. So I know he's incredibly excited to get back up there and fighting for himself, fighting for his family. And it's going to be a very great fight to start off that main card. And then we move in. Emmanuel Muniz, Anthony Blackburn, minus 130 for the challenger, plus 110 for Anthony Blackburn, the title holder. Did they get it right on this, or are we going to see this eventually flatten out to either even money, minus 110, plus 110 type of thing, Ding, as we get closer to match night?
Yeah, I definitely believe that this will probably even. I think that bettors will probably even this out, or they actually may even swing it to Anthony's favor. I do think there's something to be said for the incumbent, especially in a rematch. It was a close fight. I think that this is probably a pick 'em. I'd even have these guys at even money right now.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, the new rule change that took place where if a match is called a draw after 3 or 5 rounds, we'll get an additional round, I think is going to play huge into the betting aspect of this. If you think about it, all the money or the majority of the money at Power Slap number 9 would have been on the main event between the Crazy Hawaiian and Dumpling and the Paige Van Zandt fight. When you get those draws, all that money just gets refunded. It's definitely not what the casinos want. It's not what the bettors want. And now this extra round is going to allow for much more clarity to take place. We are going to get a definitive outcome that is going to take place from these matches. And it's going to obviously allow to have more finishes on the betting line. And this match in particular, I think, is one that could very well be one of the most opportunistic if we do get another round. This is going to go deep. This is going to go, to the end, potentially in the judges' hands. I think it's one of the most even matches on the entire card. I'm not just saying that because of how close it was before, but just seeing how both these athletes have been training, preparing, and getting ready for this particular matchup. We talked about it earlier, Isaiah Quiones, Brandon Bordeaux, same identical odds, minus 130, plus 110 on this one. I know you said earlier, Ding, you think that Isaiah is, that the odds for Isaiah are going to grow, and you could potentially see that over time. But it's going to be an interesting one. From a betting perspective and kind of, betting man on Power Slap, I would be staying away from this match if I'm putting any money in Vegas. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Isaiah, because of his dominance, will swell to a heavier favorite. Brandon Bordeaux, I think the draw with Eddie Brahimir, as well as his performance against Brandon Road. I think people who know probably there's probably an asterisk next to that match just because of the kind of the experience gap and the fact that the show hadn't even aired yet and Brandon Rhodes was already on the undercard of Power Slap 8. And I just think, again, since he came down to 185, Isaiah seems to be an unstoppable force. I was surprised, and you know what? I think Brandon Bordeaux was surprised by how small of a favorite Isaiah was. It's minus 130 is I mean, just a few bets, away from putting somebody down there to even money. So I think I was a little surprised by that number. Again, when you compare it, I think, if you're talking about odds, right, if you have a guy like Damien DeBell at 195 against a guy like Dorian Perez at plus 170, you probably should have almost the exact same odds for Isaiah Brandon, because I think you have the same exact kind of concerns is not the right word, but I think you have the same exact questions, right? Guys with really, 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 really heavy chins going against champions with knockout power who are the incumbents who seem to be dominant. I mean, I think it's in a lot of ways it's the same story. So for those odds to be so different, maybe it's the undefeated nature of Brandon Bordeaux. I don't exactly know.
Mm-hmm. I hear you, my man. Let's get going on. Let's get to the other half of the card. We've got the betting lines in right now. We've got we've got the female match at the very top. This one, the odds maker are favoring Pauline. And then we've got Garrett Grimes, who we haven't seen in a while. Excited to get him back in, coming from Gorilla Smack, going up against Joshua Newsom, coming off Road to the Title Season 3. Joshua Newsom is the underdog in this matchup. Do you think Joshua has seen anybody of the caliber of Garrett Grimes, that he's faced previously in Power Slap, that he will in this particular matchup?
Of course not. I think that there's an entirely different, and that's no disrespect to the guys he had on the show. but he competed against Raiden, who's not even really realistically not even at 185, and he competed against Fabricio, who's also not at 185. This is a true middleweight experience who's been. He can't take it, and he's not going to do diversity, but he hasn't experienced it yet that we've seen. And I also think there's something to be said for being in front of a live crowd, right? Garrett Grimes had that experience earlier this year, I believe, at the Durango. And so I just think that there's probably an experience difference here that will play. I'm still a little bit surprised by those odds. I don't know that we haven't seen Garrett Grimes in a while, and Newson has looked, impressive. He definitely hasn't faced any adversity, so I don't exactly know why Garrett Grimes is up by like a Damien DeBell type of number, but again, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, that one definitely could be a little bit closer, but we'll see once it evolves. Obviously, the experience playing a big part. Joshua Newsom hasn't performed in front of a live audience. As you alluded to, Garrett Grimes, I believe the last time we've seen him was at the Durango event, Power Slap number 6, approximately, I guess, a year ago now. I mean, man, time flies for sure. But Cooper Housley, Pono Paul. Cooper Housley opening up as the favorite, minus 150, going up against the underdog in this one, Pono Paul, plus 130. Pono Paul obviously going up against James Seekman. We've seen him go up with his opposite hand because of a hand issued injury in the pre-fight interview that we did with him. That's up on our YouTube channel right now. Pono Paul, he stated that he's 100% both physically and mentally ready for this. He's not worried about re-injuring that hand once again. This matchup, relatively, I think on paper, is probably a lot closer than what the odds makers have given it so far. However, Cooper Housley, with the experience, is getting that upper edge at a minus 150. Do you agree, Ding?
I think Pono Paul has an aura about him, right? I think there's it's Pono, dun, 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 right? I think that he kind of built that reputation on the show, despite the loss to Siegman, right? I think that a lot of people kind of buy into the rhetoric that it was dominant hand. Against but it worked for a guy like James Seekman. Unfortunately, he's on the wrong side of a knockout, but I think from all the rumblings we've heard, the things that we've seen online, people really believe, and Pono himself believes, that if he had the dominant hand, that bout ends differently. And so, I just think Cooper's one of those guys that's kind of a sleeper, right? He's quieter, he's a nicer guy. You haven't seen a ton of him. His last match out, it was against Logan Greenhall. That was on a pre-taped. It was a draw. Then before that, he had I don't even remember who it was that he faced, but it was I think it's Stevie Ray Payne. If I remember correctly, he knocks him out. If you're talking about sort of exposure and who people have seen more from, I would guess it'd be a guy like Pono. And so I'm a little surprised by that line. But again, Vegas knows something we don't 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, this can be an incredibly entertaining fight. Both two solid guys. They both like each other. They both follow each other. They're both fans of each other. We know they're going to put that aside when they're up there, because obviously winning this bout will help both of them move up the ranking in that heavyweight division that has got a ton of new talent injected into it. We got Wes Minna, we got James Seekman, we got Pono Paul. I know I'm missing the fourth one. Help me out, Ding. Who's the fourth heavyweight from the show?
I was just watching your interview earlier, and you called Cooper out for this. So I'm gonna revel in this for a moment, if I could. No, I'm just kidding. It's so you said Paul. It's Bryce Jones. You're talking about. You said
Bryce Jones. There we go. The other guy who's actually joining us Thursday night. Bryce Jones, resident of Vegas, going to be there as well. Come out and meet Bryce Jones. He's probably going to hate me because I forgot his name on it, but it's all part of live TV. Ding, you're supposed to bail me out, my man.
No.
But having fun with
like dirty laundry, big dog.
Exactly. The last fight on the card, TJ Thomas minus 120 going up against Luke Simon. Even money, the closest line on the entire card, going to be taking place in that light heavyweight division. Luke Simon, kind of the young stud coming out of the show, a guy that's getting a lot of attention Going up with the veteran, TJ Thomas from Gorilla Smack. I will say one thing. Gorilla Smack is training probably harder than anybody else. Ding. Is that hard work, determination, and dedication going to show up on fight night?
I'm not comfortable saying that they're training harder than anybody else. I just think that they've developed a program that sort of tailors to this sport. We heard it in a number of interviews. They train on average about 2 times a week together. I think that having people who are training for similar things is important. I think it's valuable. But there's also some attributes that I think you need in this sport. A chin is one of them. I personally believe, and I may catch shit for this, and that's fine, but I personally believe it's very, very difficult to train your chin, so to speak, right? I think in most cases you probably already have one or you don't have one. And I don't know that, getting knocked out or taking more hits is going to help you or hurt you, or, the neck thing, or whether that matters or doesn't matter. I don't necessarily subscribe to those pieces of it. So I think what they're doing is helpful when it comes to the technique and to making sure that they're clean athletes. As far as the strength elements of it, I think that these are vastly different athletes. Slambo's a certain build, Grimes is a certain build, TJ's a certain build. We've heard a lot about Red Rocket. We haven't actually really seen him very much. If it's, I saw somebody, if that's who Red Rocket is, then he is a pretty big kid. But I think a lot of it are these attributes that these guys have athletically. And I think all the training that they do, together is definitely beneficial and it's going to help them. But I think more than that, they also have to make sure that each of them individually have attributes that are going to favor them when they're doing these types of competitions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be a great matchup. Great way to start out the night. All right, then let's move on to the last segment of the show. We've got 2 more cards that we are going to reveal. Anthony Blackburn, Paige Van Zandt. Let's talk about, these are pre-release promo cards by Leaf. These are like the pre-rookie cards. From all accounts, there's going to be roughly 300 of each of these cards given out during the live show and Power Slap number 10. The only way that you can get these cards are in attendance. Man, I think these are going to be incredibly valuable cards going forward. If you see CJ, you're going to want to grab some of these cards from him. I think these are going to resell on the secondary market, 6, 8, 12 months down the line for probably upwards of $100+. I think that might be modest even. I think these are going to be incredibly valued cards. We got Dana White, Anthony Blackburn, Paige Van Zandt. So you definitely want to check those out. Who should we reveal first, Ding? The champ, Anthony Blackburn, or the MMA veteran and comer in the women's division, Paige Van Zandt?
Let's do 12 gauge Paige.
Let's go 12 gauge Paige. You ready? Boom. There we go.
Official Power Slap photo. I like the stacked nickname. Yeah, I like it. Honestly, I think these look really professional. Like Corey said earlier, excuse us. These are scans of the images, so we don't actually have the physical cards in our possession. Or maybe we do, but don't try to stick us up for them when we're in Vegas, because we won't give them up easily. We won't go down without a fight. We'll have security.
Yeah.
Wes Mina, we hired him for this.
Wes Mina, Danny Van Heerden, need a couple of super heavies to come into it as well.
Same.
So yeah, Paige Van Zandt, like I said, great card. I love the design that they did. The leaf metal just has that nice shiny flair to it. As you talked about, the lines in the back really make this pop. Great to see new images of the athletes here as well. And we know some of the UFC stuff, or even Dana, previously, sometimes these images are, 1, 2, 3 years old. We're getting new, fresh images of these athletes as part of these promo cards that are going to be handed out and released. So hopefully you enjoy the Paige Van Zandt. It is going to be one that you want to chase. We know she's incredibly, she's an incredibly easy person or great person to, interact with. If you see her at the venue, you see her in the casino, she'd be more than willing to sign these cards as well. And, something that's definitely worth, collecting long-term. She's one of the biggest stars, not only in Power Slap, but in the social media space. Being an MMA fighter, everything else, she's built quite a reputation in a number of different spheres. Do we have Anthony Blackburn here? Anthony, are you here? I think he is. He just even put up a comment a little bit later. How excited are you, Anthony? Let us know in the comments. How excited are you to see this next reveal? I'm going to make everybody wait until you reply to me, Anthony. I know you're there. There's no point in releasing it if the champ isn't here to see it.
The champ is here.
Is he here?
He's got to be. He just said, woo. Let's see.
How long ago was that? That was less than a minute ago. Come on. He's got to be here.
I think he's breathing in and out. Either that or he's having too much fun in Vegas.
Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe he's listening to us on mute or something. He doesn't know that we're talking about him. What do we do?
Well, you can't listen to somebody on mute. I will say that's a fact.
But he could watch, I guess. So
you can lip read. There you go.
All right, he's here. He's here. All right. Without further ado, Anthony Blackburn, here is your pre-rookie card from Leaf Trading. Leaf Metal. There we go. Anthony Blackburn wearing the blue jersey. Looking mean. Great stack to it. Love the color. These are pretty exciting cards. One of the cool things, like we said before, is that these things shine when you get them in your hands. You are not going to be disappointed if you are lucky enough to get one of these. So get out early to grab these cards because they'll certainly be gone before 6 p.m. on Friday night when Power Slap number 10 takes place. Ding. Anthony Blackburn, the champ, gets his card. The only one fighting on this particular fight card that is going to have that promo piece.
Phone's on 8%, he says.
Well, at least us knuckleheads got it out before your phone died.
Well, hold on. No, us knuckleheads is way too much.
All right, then me knucklehead and you. Yeah. I don't know what you are, Ding.
All knowing I'm the shit in one.
You're a meatball. How's that?
There you go. That's a good one. By the way, since you wanna rag on people, I just want to let everybody know. Corey was telling me that my arm. Did I lose you?
Yeah, no, I couldn't hear you, man.
No, my shirt it's black. This part is black.
Yeah.
But you thought it was part of my background, so
I did, man. I thought you were the two-thirds of a man. I thought you were on the Ozempic plan.
No, I'm full blown, brother.
Awesome, Ding. I appreciate you joining me. Exciting times. We both fly into Vegas tomorrow. Things are just going to get more exciting as we go. Make sure you are tuning in. Make sure you got those notifications on Instagram. We're going to be bringing you guys a ton of behind the scenes looks. We're going to see the guys live show. Like we said, we've been talking about it for a number of times. 3-hour live show taking place at Stadium Swim Circa Sports. It's going down Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's 7 p.m. in the East. 3 hours, 25 plus guests. We've got a ton of great activations. If you're in Vegas, come on down. If you're not, we're going to be here on YouTube and we'll be here on Facebook. Appreciate everybody. Travel safe. It's fight week. Enjoy it. It doesn't get much better than this.